Excuse me, I just had a protein shake. Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez. I'm coming at you today with OMI is my homie number 77. We got Crypto Rain here, my co-host, and we are missing the doctor of stuff. He's got a little bit of catching up to do after taking some leave, but he'll be back next week. Our last pre-show before Vegas. Tried to get the Crypto Cosmo out here today, but he was unfortunately a bit under the weather. More on him later. Today we are going to go over bounties. Fed cuts, why OMI was down again before the last hour or two, where it's actually up 7% on the day. Again, we'll go over that. VeVe gaining a bunch of users. The active daily users still remains a bit down. MEXC, big whales, more buys, all that jazz, and more. My man, Mr. Rain, how you doing?
Amazing.
Good to hear. We are going to kick it off with a bang today. Got Devo Kyle, first one here with the $2 super chat. How is Illuvium trading at only $8? It's insanity. Yeah, it was once 1900. Now, granted, that was when they had a lot less supply. They had a bit more supply added over the last couple of years. And Flow, Akomi, Illuvium, it seems that just everything is down just from that macro. And we'll go over that. But Illuvium, I believe you still play every now and then, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good game. I think it's going to do like really well. The whole monster capture idea is an amazing idea. This idea of true ownership is going to be big. But like, if this were easy, then the numbers wouldn't look like they do. 95% of people don't make meaningful money in crypto. And you're like, do you see why? Like, I was watching this big YouTube channel and they were talking about, oh yeah, you know, all the big institutional traders are selling their Bitcoin, you know, that BlackRock is essentially hosting for them, and they're rolling it into the AI trade so they can make 3, 4, 5x in AI. And so what that does is people hear that and then they want to sell their crypto and then roll it into AI stocks. So the way you make money is buy low, sell high. So AI stocks that have already gone 3 or 4 or 5x for a stock, that's way up. You don't make your money buying up when everyone else is then buying it. That's what 95% of people are doing. You position yourself in where the narrative is going to be before it gets there, not after. And that's what not everyone, just 95% of people do wrong. And where the narrative is going to be is blockchain gaming, digital collectibles, the crypto space. And it's like this given that's like, oh yeah, just everyone's going to move their money to AI. No, they're not. Crypto has meaningful things innovation that it's doing for what the internet could not do without it. And like, it's always darkest before the dawn. Like, if you rewind time, and I don't know, it might've been 6 months ago, you can see it on the ETH charts if you look at it. And it was just a foregone conclusion that ETH was dead and ETH was just not going to be meaningful anymore. And so it was just in April and it went to $1,300 and everyone just knew that ETH was dead. It was just like the assumption. Oh yeah. And you would see these video headlines. I'm selling all my ETH for Solana, and why I'm selling all my ETH for Solana. So Solana is way up and ETH is way down. And literally they're selling ETH at lows to buy Solana at highs. And this is a major crypto YouTube channel with like 1 million viewers. And yet that's what they're doing. Now, that crypto YouTuber has a Bybit referral link. And so he makes money every time he gets you to trade. So he's making money. He's making money because he sells advertisements on it. Is he making money on his trading? No, that was a terrible trade. Although, did he make money by doing that video? Yes, but this is why so many people lose money in crypto, because they're not positioning when things are meaningfully down. They're just jumping to where it feels like the action already is, and they're selling low to buy high over and over and over again. And they just think this time it's going to be different. It's like, no, you just take meaningful positions and then you wait. It isn't much harder than that. And so, yes, like blockchain gaming is way down. Digital collectibles, that narrative is way down. The only narrative that's up in the crypto space right now is privacy, which is interesting because privacy's narrative didn't meaningfully run in 2021. It hasn't meaningfully run since early 2018. And that's because 2021's run, Gary Gensler was in charge of the SEC, and they tried to destroy any type of crypto privacy whatsoever. And so fun to see it run again. It was a good narrative, but yeah, that's the only crypto narrative that's running right now. And it is not a good time to move into that narrative. You're buying high if you're moving into it now. All these other narratives like digital collectibles, amazing narrative, amazing prices. Yet most people can't pull the trigger when prices are low because they still have to try touching the hot stove of buying high, hoping it goes higher in something else like Zcash or maybe like gold and silver are way up. And they just have to chase where the action is because they can't learn to think about it the way the super wealthy do, which is buy low. Then if it goes even lower, you buy more at even lower prices. It really is that simple.
It is simple, but sometimes not easy. And it's like losing weight and getting in shape. Everyone knows you eat right, you eat a lot of lean meats and vegetables and drink water and cut the crap and you work out. But it sucks. It's hard. And it's hard to buy into what you can see are legit great companies that have these revenues and they're innovative and the CEOs have this history of success and it just makes sense. And then the price goes down. Like, for example, in crypto in general, we have a lot of bullish news. The Fed cut rates again, another 25 basis points. You have quantitative tightening that's going to end on December 1st. Trump says he just ended the Biden's war on crypto, and he also announced a China trade deal. So many people are buying, yet today, there's a bloodbath in the streets today, and this is not bold. This is not bode well for Trump. Despite what I think he's doing is I think good for America and good for the long term. In the short term, everyone's getting wrecked, and I don't see Republicans doing that well next year because of it. Now, granted, that is 11 months away or 12 months away, and a lot of stuff can change. But what's your take on this?
Going to change. Like, so part of why things are down right now is like, I think the China thing is being used as an excuse by whales to push the market around. I think still large institutions are making meaningful positions in crypto, and they want to do that while prices are low. The excuse is, oh, China tariff war. So if that's really the concern, why are stocks up and crypto's down? Well, I think because meaningful positions are being taken and they don't want to pump their own bags while they're trying to acquire. So then once they've acquired, then all these positive news, and there's tons of fundamentally strong news on crypto. Like fundamentally, I've never seen so much bullishness about crypto. It feels a lot like it did November and December of 2020. And there was a massive run in early 2021. Feels like that same feeling. Like we are heading into some amazing goodness. Now, November 2020 was kind of a rough month, and October definitely was. And that's kind of what we've been feeling. But the fundamental news is so strong behind crypto. It's funny that the price is just way down, and that has people completely losing their mind, freaked out.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, it's so down. It's like, okay, well, that means it's not time to sell. Yeah, but are you worried? I'm like, well, did David Yu resign from VeVe? No? Okay, then I'm not worried about OMI. Yeah, but the price is down. So, cool. It's kind of like, is the ship sinking? No. There's waves. Okay, like wake me up if there's a huge hole blown in the ship and the ship is like taking on massive amounts of water, then wake me up. But like this is just part of the gig. Like I know before crypto, I had been doing cycle investing before. And so I've gotten somewhat immune to this, especially being in crypto now for 8 years, that I'm just like, okay, let me see. Nope, VeVe not meaningfully looking like it's going to fail. So everything's good there. These other cryptos I'm invested in Luvium doesn't meaningfully look like it's going to fail. Like I just talked to Kieran Warwick and had him on the channel like a couple of weeks ago, and they've got still a year of runway. They're doing some other things to raise some capital. They have the ability to raise other capital. So boat is still top shape. Like they're going to survive. So cool. The price just got even more discounted because crypto is out of the narrative, except for Zcash and some privacy coins. Well, that's a good thing. Just buy more. Cool. Or just wait. It's just not sell time. Sell time is really clear when it's sell time. Now, everyone's going to get this wrong, except you guys, hopefully, is sell time is when everyone's talking about it. When it's foregone conclusion that's just going to keep going up for forever, that's when it's sell time, because it's not going to go up for forever. Just like it feels like it's a foregone conclusion that crypto is never going to bounce back. It's going to bounce. Like this much FUD and this much price suppression is a great thing. Like on a trampoline, the farther things go down, it springboards even faster and farther up. That's what's going to happen here. And it's going to be fun to watch.
I can't wait. You mentioned digital collectibles before, and there's this one guy. It's so interesting to see how intelligent people that are entering the space for the first time, they come to the same conclusions that we did. Like, hey, this has a lot of advantages, and this is really cool. And there's one guy named Derek Snook that I just had a meeting with the other day. He's very new to digital collectibles, but he likes baseball and he really likes Ohtani. And he just helped. The Dodgers just won the World Series, and all of Japan is celebrating because Ohtani's like their hero. And he bought well into the 5 figures of a lot of Ohtani stuff on Candy. And he said that a lot of people that are on Candy, they're very worried about their assets because they've been bought and sold like 6 different times already, from Futureverse most recently, and then they were on DC Palm NFT, and they were on a bunch of these things. But he said that the underlying assets are still really good. It's still Ohtani. It's still, he's still pretty awesome. And I got him into VeVe a little bit. We're going to have more meetings and we'll get him into OMI and stuff, but it's such a fresh perspective that we've all had, but it's just coming from someone new. It's like, hey, this digital collecting is awesome. Wouldn't it be great if we could show it off? Like we just had a watch, and it's a lot of stuff that we've discussed before, but it just goes to show you that most new people that get in that can juggle the idea, they think it's awesome, and he's in, and he's just into like Candy right now, but we'll get him into VeVe, and he's got friends that'll do the same thing. Speaking of which, we have in the most recent Street Fighter drop, we had a bunch of bounties. We had one for 4,000 by Comics and Crypto. By the way, their Twitter got hacked, so if you see anything from Comics and Crypto, it's a scam right now. They were hacked, but we'll let you know when they come back. There was a $4,100 bounty from someone else, and then a guy named Draco had a $6,000 bounty on the Ryu number 1987. And on live the other day, I was going to go and we were going to try for it. 2 minutes into my live, someone got it. And it was a guy named Michael Bauman, who had the week prior spent $4,500 trying to get the 1 of 1 stamp that we had, which actually went to Comics and Crypto. And this week he had spent $10,000 worth of blind boxes to get that 1987, and he didn't claim any of the bounties. He's just like, nope, this is mine forever. So we have a bunch of people that VeVe's still making a bunch of money, but a decent amount of that is because the whales are still here. And for me, I think it's because they know that this company is going to be here for the long haul and might actually be one of those trillion-dollar companies one day. That being said, there is that other side of the argument of like, okay, yeah, there's only 700-800 people active on any given day on average. Only a few of those are whales. A lot of those are sellers. What happens if the whales leave? Does that what's your take on it? Where do you fall on that spectrum?
Yeah. So in the short term, what happens if the whales leave?
Yeah, I mean, on one side, you have the whales that are just like, hey, this company is going to go crazy. Smart money knows this. That's why they're going crazy on all these blind boxes, because they know what it's going to be worth one day. On the other end, you could make the argument that, well, there's not that many people on the app. The majority are sellers, and the only ones keeping the app alive really are these whales that mega spend. If they stop mega spending, the app might fall apart and OMI might go to zero. So you have two opposite ends of the spectrum on there. Just kind of want to see where you fall on that.
Well, fudders are going to fud. So we're still in the early adoption of digital collectibles. And that's the riskiest point of like those early survival years. Like Topps baseball cards almost didn't make it in 1942. Like they almost went under and they barely made it. So VeVe's inflection point of where they were really at risk was 4.5 years ago. Like after they launched the app and nobody was quite adopting it. And, you know, they had only sold some Rizzos, a few Todd McFarlane Batmans, a few of the other things. And they didn't have tons of buying going on. I'm sure they were worried. Worried now, like you have a bunch of whales coming in spending big money because they believe too that digital collectibles are going to be the future. And they keep buying, and it's like, well, would they eventually wash out? Yeah, if the bear market went on for another couple of years, they would. I just don't think it's going to play out that way. I think we're going to see a meaningful November and December, and then next year a complete blow off top with crypto going crazy, and then we'll have a whole new slew of whales coming in. We'll probably overboom this bull market, and then we'll overbust into a bear market, and there'll probably be even more whales buying during that bear market because they get that the early days you can make some money if you're buying the right things.
Agreed. Crazy volatility right now. Bitcoin was up to 102, down to 100K again. We'll keep you guys abreast of the situation as we continue on. We had the gold coin that was just dropped the other day. They're only allowing you to mint one right now. You can mint more. You just have to fill out a form, and then once that form is filled out, they will allow you to mint a second. You can redeem them at the physical ones at DCon next week. To get that, obviously, you have to have a gold and silver logo, which we have. You need to have 400,000 market MCP points, which seems like a lot, and it is. And some people aren't able to redeem because some people that got the logo, they just didn't have the points. Some people that bought multiple and gave one to their wives, they're trying to get their wives to buy a bunch of things so that they have the 400,000 MCP. And then obviously yeah, that was it. You needed the logo, the points, and that's it. You could mint. Speaking of the logo, I had that 20K sale last week for the gold and silver number 41, and that's one of the ones I think that can get on Golden. Golden Auctions had Ken Golden had said they could have a bunch of digital collectibles on there. I think that's one of the things that could go. I think a Loman Partner statue or Todd McFarlane could. I think I actually have that on this list here. Anyway, the record-breaking burns are at an all-time high because of this. We have new record-breaking burns every week. I think it's 3.5 million we had the other day, which was pretty wild. Are those enough? How are burns affecting the overall sentiment? Do you think they could, if they go in and they could do more burns when they have it on November 19th, when they have more only cash out via OMI, and then they have OMI to gem? We'll obviously get a lot more burns. Is that going to be enough to turn the sentiment around? Or is it going to be just another thing that's there but doesn't really affect it?
If you ever had a girlfriend where the girlfriend has decided, like, I don't know, that she's disgruntled and there's nothing you can do that, like, is seen through a good lens?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we've experienced that. Look, there's like the amount of burns going on is amazing news. A lot of people acting like the girlfriend that can't see good news to save her life, like everything is seen through a negative prism. Yeah. What's going to flip it around? crypto sentiment is going to take care of that. Like, it's going to go crazy. And then everyone will turn super optimistic, almost like, you know, you have that girlfriend and stuff and she's decided, and then all of a sudden you get a huge raise at work and you get $1 million a year offer. All of a sudden your girlfriend's view on you is going to change around completely. And you're the best thing. And she's going to do so much to make your life so sweet when she couldn't see anything positive about you for so long. That's what's going to happen. And so the amount of burns going on is incredible. People don't see it as good news. Like, it's the whole girlfriend sentiment thing. That's all that's going on.
I've heard that if your girlfriend is going like wild, all you got to do is be like, calm down. and you'll get a stiletto in the eye. But
yeah,
I just thought that
just
was
relax works every time. Yeah.
Oh, I love this game.
I joke with my wife about that. So yeah, I'm just going to tell you to calm down because that'll help, right? She laughs.
Pink Panther says, is YouTube cracking down on crypto channels for misinformation? Some channels have been suspended. And yes, we had that news the other day saying that you had the claim that YouTube was straight up banning crypto and NFT shows starting November 17th. Will still always be live on X if they do that. I don't think that's exactly what's going to happen. But they were going to try to change its rules concerning channels that were directly impacting the blockchain, NFTs, Web3 gaming content across YouTube and Google. Again, I think they'd be shooting themselves in the foot with that, because if it has anything to do with online gambling, they would screw all of their Pokemon, the stuff that gets tens of millions of views, blind boxes and box opening. So I don't think they're going to do that, or if they do, it's going to be in a very, very loose way where they're only going to. But I don't know. You have Logan Paul, that his crypto zoo, which was clearly like a money grab, like scam. Like, the judge threw it out. It's like, nah, this was fine. CZ was pumping Aster the other day on Twitter, and it seemed to be fine. I guess he's also got a presidential pardon. That being said, we've got, now that it seems that there are a lot looser regulations over on crypto, do you think it's possible that that VeVe could maybe do buybacks, or they could initiate or restart some of those things they had in 2021, like maybe do a land sale? What are your thoughts on it?
Probably the buybacks, maybe even the land sale. So I think they'd probably be clear on both, but I'm not a securities attorney.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion as a crypto investor myself. I hadn't heard about the YouTube crackdown. Maybe they're coming for me, although they will never know that I'm in the crypto space with a name like Crypto Rain. So
fair point.
We'll see. All of a sudden the channel might be Twitter only at that point. Who knows?
We'll see. We have we have DCon next week, and although hella excited, if the government shutdown does stay open through next week, there is talk about them shutting down certain airspaces. There's even more talk, and this is all speculation, that they might only shut down airspaces in Democrat-run cities and states, because they're the ones that are supposedly keeping the government shut down. But yeah, if they do that, and then a bunch of people can't make it to DCon, what does VeVe do at that point? Do they have like a virtual thing? Like do they go in and cancel it? They have it on anyway?
I don't think it'll be that severe. I think as soon as the elections wrap up, like when are they? Like today, that all of a sudden the shutdown standstill is going to come to it, and that Democrats are going to agree to the continuing resolution, is my guess. And so I'll be surprised if it's different than that. Maybe. But like, how much will flights be impacted? Some. I still think people who want to fly there will be able to get their flight. Be somewhat impacted because like people will be scared. There'll be less people booking flights, and so traffic will be lighter. So it'll still happen.
Good point. We have Jason Pena, thanks for being a member, asking if you have minted a gold and silver coin. We have talked about this a little bit as well.
Yeah, I did. I got terrible mint. It's like mint number 456. I'm like, dang it.
Oh, well, it's 456.
Oh, yeah. Let me confirm that. Let me see. It's like a high number like that.
So there's probably
456. There we go.
Oh, you might actually get an offer on that.
Just because it's sequential 456.
Yeah, I mean, you have the one that I know that would usually do something like that, like Clever Jerk always has like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Our very own Kuma, he minted the number 1, so he's got like I don't know what that got.
Oh man, that's got some value, especially because it's so rare for community members to be able to get mint number 1. Most things it's not possible.
You remember when David had that like $40,000 bounty on that Iron Man secret rare one, number 1?
Mm-hmm.
I originally said he might be able to get 5K for this, but now that I'm thinking about it, he might get in the 5 figures. He might get like 10K plus because it's the VeVe like number 1. So
it's so limited, yeah, and like it's one of the few ones where you can get a mint number 1, like just like the Iron Man, you could, because VeVe couldn't take the first 40 mint numbers on it. Yeah.
So this is I will watch that sale with great interest. We'll go and pump it up at Decon and try to see what we can get because Kuma will be there. Ray, thanks, the guy with the number 40.
Sell it in this environment. Maybe I would and do what you did and flip that into more OMI if I could get a high enough price. Otherwise, I'd be happy just to hang on to it and sell it in the craziness of the coming bull run.
I mean, we could have. I mean, there's a bunch of people that are going on and looking to buy. I mean, there's a couple people that said they were looking to sell. Omar actually got some at 000109 the other day, so he's sitting pretty.
It's crazy. I wish I probably put 300,000 into OMI at this point. I wish I had a magic crystal ball and I could see those come to this price. I could just left all that money just sitting there in cash and been like, buy. Of course, I'd have to buy about 1,000 a day for 300 days. Maybe I could buy 5 to 10,000 a day, just logging in every hour and just keep buying it. Man, amazing price.
There is a guy named Goldie Boy 22 that said he sold 100 million OMI, and he said for the first time since February 2021, I sold my first OMI token, and it felt good? ? He says he has approximately 1.2 billion left, and he finally doesn't feel married to his bag, and that he wants to sell throughout 2026 and finally be free. Part of the reason I thought he was looking to sell throughout 2026 is because if he sold all of it right now, the price would dump. He would only get a certain amount of it. So I reached out and I said, like, hey, are you looking to sell? Actually, I'll read the direct message. He had said, I said, howdy, do you want to do an OTC deal for your OMI? Long story short, he said no. And Foster reached out publicly and said, like, if you want to sell 100 million, let me know. No response. So I'm not 100% sure if he even has this OMI or if he's just trying to FUD it so he can get it cheaper. That's possible as well. But then I had a couple people reach out because I guess his post got a lot of traction. It's like, hey, I'm looking to buy. Long story short, it's up to like 1.5 billion that we're looking to get now from various people coming, and they're looking to do OTC deals. So 1.5 billion OMI. And we're reaching out to people looking to sell, and we can't find any. So this is who's selling? Like how is it like there's clearly a lot of people looking to buy, especially at these prices, and there's nobody that's looking to sell to us, but the price somehow keeps now granted the overall market's down, but do you have any idea who might, are they like being liquidated? Is it some people that chasing green candles?
Yeah, probably people chasing. They're rolling it out of OMI into something else, and it's just a little bit of sell pressure every day. I think I don't know who's selling, so it isn't me. I wish I had tons of money to scoop up everything in this environment. Like Kyle said, like Illuvium at $8, it's crazy. OMI at the price it's at is crazy. So many things at these crazy low prices. And it feels right now like this will happen for forever. I remember when DEVVE got down to like just like 12 cents during the bear market launch. It had gone over $2. It came down to 12 cents. And it was during the pre-sale investors vesting still. And I was like, it feels like this will last for forever, but it won't. And at some point it'll turn around. And later it turned around, went to like $1.50 or something. You know, our friend Reagan picked up a whole bunch. You know, I had been visiting you and saw Reagan, and he's like, I'm going to put 10K into crypto. Should I get some OMI? I was like, and DEVVE, I was like, well, get what you want. I told him what I thought about each. So he bought like 6K worth of DEVVE at like 12 cents. He was so happy, right? Because it felt like it would last for forever. But when it feels like that, it's not going to. So just like it feels like, oh my gosh, you know, I've missed all these other things like Tesla in 2021 that went 7x. Felt like Tesla would go up for forever. That's just not what happened. In early 2021 was the scary time to buy. Late 2021, it seemed like it would just keep going up, and it was and people felt safe to buy because it had done 7x already when it's super risky. So like buy low, sell high. Like once you rewire your brain to think that way, you see $8 Illuvium like Kyle, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. You see OMI at these prices, like right at the beginning. And I love seeing these kinds of messages. See you next week, legends. 40 million OMI acquired. Next goal, 100 million. Like, I love that stuff. This was me and my friends during the last bear market, and we were just getting together, talking about what we had bought, like while everything was on massive sell. And so many people in the crypto space, if we posted about what we were doing, they just thought we were crazy, we were dumb, we were stupid, we were going to be broke. And we all ended up millionaires just buying low. And so, okay, prices got even lower. That's amazing. Why some people don't get it? It's because they're wired wrong. They haven't rewired themselves to think like that 5% that does well in making your money work for you. So that's all right. Like trying to help them, but if they can't see it, they can't see it. And this just is the wrong space for them, because they're going to make up the 95% of people that lose money because they chase green candles. And people think, oh, you know, if you've been in crypto for 8 years, you're lucky. I know people that have been in crypto for 8 years, they haven't made meaningful money. So it's not just being in crypto that makes you the money. It's not just watching BitBoy's channel or something that makes you money. In fact, he's a terrible investor. It's doing the right things in crypto plus time here. And so many people think just being in the crypto space, they're going to make money. No, if you're not doing the right things, it's going to go poorly for you.
I had this girl, Crypto Nira, on yesterday, and she's in a couple different communities now. And I just said, you know, how'd you get your start? And she said she got into blockchain in 2016, started buying Bitcoin because the technology just made sense, and she felt it could be massively adopted. And she wasn't putting in a ton. She was putting in like $50 a week. But at the time, Bitcoin was like $300 or $500 a coin. And she kept up that $50 a week. I think she still does it. But she did it like for years. And I think she did a little bit more. And everyone was just saying like, oh, you're buying this crypto because it was at like 500, went to 900, went down to 300. Like, you know, see, you're losing money. And she just kept at it. And well, she's not at that job anymore, and everyone else that she worked with is. So she had that last laugh, and it just goes to say time in the market is generally better than trying to time the market, because you're never going to get that bottom, at least not consistently. And same thing with that top.
Yeah. dollar cost average, like, sure, if we had a magic crystal ball, if I had a magic crystal ball, I'd be multi-billionaire already because I could have timed everything perfectly. You can't come into it with that expectation because you just can't do that. So what do? You dollar cost average when things are cheap. And when they go cheaper, that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's an amazing thing. Sure, it'd be perfect to know that it was going to go cheaper. That way you could have kept that money on the sidelines, but you don't have a magic crystal ball either. So don't have that expectation. Then when everyone's talking about how great crypto is, it's never going to stop going up, that's sell time. So right now we're not there. So what does that tell you? If we're not there, then it's buy time, especially when things are so cheap and people are panicking out. That is a clear buy time. Now, you don't just want to buy anything. I'm not buying meme coins. I'm not buying like companies where I look at the founders and I'm like, can't even tell who the founders are, or like, aren't really a narrative that I can believe in. I'm buying very specific things that I think have a great chance to survive this coming bear market this altcoin run into when the altcoins really pop off. And I think we're seeing that popcorn, use that analogy, it's like the popcorn in the microwave. It starts finally popping once the heat gets enough and you hear a few kernels popping, and then more and then more. I think we're seeing just a few kernels popping. I think Zcash was one of those. Like Pink Panther is saying, ICP has meaningfully jumped back up. So if he got some at 289, he got it right near the bottom. An amazing price on ICP. Probably going to do really, really well. His market cap went to about $1 billion. It's about 2.6 billion now. Incredible price. I guess it was about 1.5 billion, and it's about 2.6 billion now.
Sweet. We have VeVe that has been gaining hundreds of new users every month, which is great. The average daily user is still 700 to 800. A buddy of ours, big YouTuber guy, he mentioned that if we were to have like a game, nothing crazy, not like a AAA game, but just like a simple game, King of the Hill, hide and seek, clean your NFTs if they get like dirty, like something simple, people would engage with it. They'd spend more time on the app. They'd have not only just an active daily user, but they would have like people spending multiple minutes, maybe even hours on the app. Is it worth it to try to allocate some resources into building a game? Because obviously it might not work. They've spent, I don't know how much on VeVeverse, and maybe a couple dozen people use it right now.
So the goal is to, like, time on app with VeVe thing isn't near as important as money spent on it.
Yeah.
So does additional time spent on the app mean more money spent on the app? Depends on how they do it. I think the way they do it is utility for the digital collectibles. I think Disney wakes up and is like, oh my gosh, if we give people that hold the Walt Disney Mickey Mouse partner statue free admission to the park, then oh my gosh, people go crazy for that, and you'll see more people on the app and more money spent on the app like you've never seen before. Now, yeah. I'm not aware that Disney has any plans to do that. Now, that doesn't mean they can't later. You can always make utility retroactive. And VeVe's like, no, we don't really see that. And it's like, okay, then what happened to Ritmo? Right? Ritmo was like not a Mormon but a unicorno or whatever. And all of a sudden they made it fly and made it animated.
Yeah.
So that's retroactive upgrading it. Who's to say Disney couldn't go back and say, you know what, we want to do this? VeVe, what would VeVe say? No, we're not going to let you. So will Disney do that? I think that'd be brilliant to do it, because the amount of value that would happen in that partner statue and the amount of additional sales that they would get from VeVe through VeVe and revenues that they'd get through VeVe would go crazy.
Agreed. And so be advised, if I've seen people say, well, why can't VeVe just just do it in general. Like it's not going to cost Disney anything if VeVe gives something away. Be advised, you need permission from Disney in order to do that. And if you do that, Disney could get pissed, because what if they're planning something epic and Disney gives you like or VeVe gives you like some airdrop that's kind of okay, but Disney was planning this thing. Then people think, oh, this is the utility. No thanks, I'll pass. They sell, and then they get salty because what's actually coming could actually be better.
Yeah, Disney would either have to initiate that, or Disney would have to sign off on VeVe doing that. For VeVe just to do it, risks the partnership.
Agreed. MEXC, there's rumors that it might be insolvent. Should OMI look for other exchanges to replace MEXC if it goes under, or do we have enough exchanges right now considering the overall market, and you don't want to really try to find and pay for another one at this time?
I remember being a Cardano holder during the last bear market. Man, it's hard for people to put themselves in what it felt like back then. But I hear the same narrative, like the same arguments. Number one, not enough use case for the token, blah, blah, all this FUD about like the company itself and like Cardano. But also one of the big things is, when are we going to get on the big exchanges? Because it wasn't on Coinbase. It was on Binance, but Binance had stopped allowing US investors anyway. So it was really hard to get Cardano. And it's like, win Coinbase. And like in the bull run, close to the bull run, it finally happened. And Cardano pumped tremendously. But buying it when it was hard to get was when the profits were made. Now, can you get OMI easier than you could get Cardano back then? Yeah. Why? You can get OMI right from Coinbase's wallet. So you can get it still. Will it be easier when you get directly on Coinbase? Yeah. But it's pretty easy to get for people who want to get it now. Probably easier than Cardano was back then.
Yeah. I mean, you could buy it on Twitter with Banker by typing in Banker bot buy me X amount of dollars worth of. You buy it in like 8 words. So it's a lot easier to buy. Like the ease of access to the token is incredible nowadays. Jasper Frank's trying to understand the OMI to gem thing. Will it cause too much sell pressure? My first thought is that there's going to be some cross trade, because once we have like this new utility, which is really cool, we've only had this once in the past of OMI to gem, but back in the day it was ridiculous because there was no VeVe wasn't making any money with it. It was just bad leadership from an advisor that didn't care about the health of the company. They just wanted the token to pump. But now that we have it again, at least on November 19th, there are going to be a bunch of people like, hey, this is really great. It will cause good utility. It should cause some buy pressure, and it should also cause a bit more burns. And also, it's good for the company, because now if you don't have fiat and you're like, I'm going to skip this drop, but you have some OMI, it's a decent way to be able for the company to get even more money, another stream of revenue. But yeah, somebody's going to have to sell it, because you can't pay the licensor in OMI. Although that would be wild if you could. But you have DCBK2LA, 5 times fast, saying that here's what's happening. When you convert OMI to gems, it doesn't go directly to VeVe. The swap happens through Stacker, which handles the crypto side. VeVe only receives the fiat equivalent value as gems credit. VeVe does not touch or sell OMI. He's probably right on that. But that being said, if there's $1 million of OMI going into gems, I don't think Stacker is just going to eat that and just give VeVe $1 million. I think at some point Stacker is going to have to sell that in order to maintain operations. Now, granted, some of that will burn because VeVe is going from a model where if you pay in fiat, you have to pay 30% fees to Apple and Google. So it just takes away a lot of the profit margin. Where now when you're going from OMI to gem, they don't have to pay that 30% fee. So there is going to be a little bit of burn. We don't know how much yet. And but yeah, you're going to have to convert that. Stacker's not going to want to just hold that OMI and then just be in the whole millions of dollars giving that to the fiat to VeVe. So they are going to have to sell. How much? I don't know. Rain, do you have any thoughts on this?
It really isn't going to make a lot of difference. So overall, more OMI is being burned than ever before. And so the off ramp, some people are going to off ramp. In order to off ramp, they've got to sell for OMI, which means somebody has to have OMI to buy it, or buy OMI in order to then buy those. And then somebody who's off ramping might get OMI and then sell the OMI to cash. For a lot of it, they're really going to balance each other out. As far as like the licensor fees that OMI has to get sold in order, yeah, like some of this money is going to be off ramp, but for somebody to have used OMI to buy it, they either had to have it already or they had to go buy it in order to do that. So I don't know that this can make a meaningful difference overall, because it's burning OMI. I think that's the major factor, is that more OMI is getting burned every transaction.
In the long term, I think this goes and makes an incredible difference, because that utility that OMI is going to have is like no other. And the causes for buying, or the reasons for buying, just continue to go up. And again, the burns, the utility, whatever we might get for staking more rewards, this is, I think, going to be a very good thing long term. Yeah, short term, you might have some sell pressure that overpowers the buy pressure, but that buy pressure is just going to keep on increasing. Short term pain, long term gain.
I'll use another analogy for everyone that's had a long term girlfriend or a wife, like you can understand it, right? So you come home, your wife like is generally decided she's not super excited in the marriage. You come home and you like wash the dishes, and and she's like, so what? It's like, you're not going to get any positive credit for it. But in the long term, if you're doing these good things in an environment where you get a big raise at your job and stuff, and then she's super happy, and then she's like, oh my gosh, you washed the dishes. I think this OMI, I think this is more utility for the token, just like Randy is saying. And over like, it's not catching attention now because everyone's just like bearish on crypto right now, kind of like a girlfriend that's just burnt out on the marriage. Then all of a sudden, that environment where like the husband gets $1 million a year job offer, and all of a sudden the wife's like, oh my gosh, I need to make this marriage work. I love my husband. What a great provider. And all of a sudden she's happy about everything. Well, that same thing that everyone's fighting on now, they'll be like, yes, this is the best thing. You can only buy it with OMI and and like just endless, like positivity about it. And that's the environment that we're going to sell into. And we're not there. So it's like, great news comes out and OMI just goes down more. Kind of like you come home and you do the dishes, thinking that will change your marriage around, and your wife just sees it as another negative thing. Yeah, that's the kind of environment we're in now, but that environment's not always going to be the case. In fact, I think not very long from now, we're going to be in a totally different environment where like every news story is looked through a positive lens.
Agreed. You're always going to have like I don't even want to say naysayers, because the quad zeros would be great for stacking. And yeah,
he may be right there. And it's like, one of the hard things about OMI's price is the market structure. It went up so drastically. There's not a lot of market structure to look at to see where things are going to like have resistance and price floors and price ceilings at this, because it went up so drastically. The market structure is not there. It just went up. And so there's not points that we can look at to say, oh yeah, there's going to be a nice solid floor here that is not likely to go below. So we're not far away from quad zeros, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens.
Same. And also there's this war on between the people that want to buy, and again, John Dingby, I think you missed it before. We have about 1.5 billion OMI that a bunch of people are looking to buy, me included. Rain, I don't know if you're could be in that if we can do a big OTC deal, or if you're just like, I got my buy order set, I'll let you know, or you can let me know.
Yeah, I'll just get them through the exchange unless it's like this really good price. So like, I just can't believe how cheap it is right on the exchanges. Like it's so good. That's
So
okay. Like I remember having to watch Cardano go to 1.7 cents, and I had tried my hand at leverage longs, and I had 10,000 sitting to the side to buy Cardano if it went under 2 cents, and it did. But I had 1.7 Bitcoin in a leverage long, and it got liquidated. So I used that 10K to buy my Bitcoin back. I had just lost, instead of buying Cardano at that price. So like, I mean, OMI at these prices at almost quad 0.4 is like quad zeros. Like that's amazing.
So we have the people that are looking to buy, and if we can't set up an OTC deal for them, they're going to have to buy in the market. And if that's the case, and they have no problem paying these prices, then we don't hit the quad zeros. Then we have a bunch of, there'll be that little war between the sellers. Eventually, the sellers will run out of OMI to sell, and then we kind of go up. But yeah, there is a chance that we don't hit quad zeros because of the buy pressure. If we can't set up this OTC deal, we probably will not hit quad zeros. But if we can, then yeah, there's that buy pressure is not going to be in the market. That'll just be a cross trade. But there's a chance we don't hit it anyway. Things can turn around. Crypto Cosmos going quad zeros would be an epic buy price. Agreed. Could you imagine $90 for a million OMI? 900 for 10 million, bro. That'd be insane.
900 for 10 million, so 9,000 for 100 million, and 90,000 for $1 billion.
Hell yeah, would be nuts. There are, so I don't know if you I think you're on Instagram every now and then. There was this, I assume the person that runs the Pope's account on Instagram, this is like a couple years ago. It was this meme that went viral because there was this like baddie like posting a thirst trap of her in her lingerie on like a balcony, and the people that liked it, one of the accounts was the Pope, and we're like, oh, like that was awesome. So clearly whoever was running the Pope's account forgot that they were running the Pope's account, thought that they were on their own account, and like this photo of the thirst trap. I bring that up because either VeVe was listening to a Nuco AI space, or it's whoever's running the VeVe account forgot that they were on the VeVe account and was just like, okay, I'm going to listen to this space now. It's like, oh, I'm on the VeVe account. Nuco AI, I'm not sure who they are, 13,000 followers on X. And if we do have something with them, then you heard it here first. Do you know who they are?
No.
Nah, me neither. I was hoping somebody would. Comment down below if you do. NFTs on Golden, we went over. So we tend to get the same stuff as Roblox and Fortnite. I was talking to Tia Garcia the other day, and she was mentioning that, like, yeah, my kids play, and it seems like every time we get something, it's like Spider-Man Noir, we get this one thing, like they all get it, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. Do you think it's just the licensor saying like, hey, this digital collectible is ready to go out, send it to every place that has like a digital version, or is it something, could be something more?
Yeah, I think it's like that. Kind of like you'll see certain projects go on like a media tour. So Illuvium, Kieran, like he went deep into work mode for like 6 months and like disappeared from, and then all of a sudden he is making the rounds. Like I happened to reach out to him, and I didn't realize he was just starting to make the rounds with everyone. I was like, oh, he's done like 10 interviews in like 2 weeks. So it's kind of that thing. It's like, okay, yeah, let's see if we can get Spider-Man Noir out there on a bunch of things. So they all release about the same time. I think it's similar to that.
Air Blue says the bottom is in. If we could only confirm, we don't. I mean, it might be. We don't know.
Yeah,
I'll keep you posted on it. Bitcoin did reach 99K before. Let's see where we're at now, real quick, just to give people an update. Oh, we went down to 99 or 98.9, back up to 100K right now. So maybe it isn't. Maybe it happened here on live. What was some of your favorite things that have happened on live that you're just like, wow, can't believe we were live for that? Got to catch our reactions in real time.
Don't remember.
The DeLorean and the Catwoman sold out on my stream years back.
Yeah.
That was really fun. That was a good time.
Well, that's pretty crazy, going from we were at 126K and now 100K. So that's a 20% pullback. That's pretty significant for Bitcoin these days.
Yeah.
But people forget, if you look at the bigger trend, it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and it's playing back that way. Like, I can share my screen here. I think, yeah, there we go. I mean, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Oh my gosh, this is hard. Like, what's funny is it's simple, but simple doesn't mean easy, because we're emotional creatures. The more you can get out of your emotions, and you have to trade and invest with your logical mind, not the emotional part of you that makes most of your decisions. Like, we think we're logical human beings. We're very emotional, and you have to be able to put your emotions aside. So literally 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Okay, cool. That's a pretty clear trend there. And yet a bunch of people are going to take this as a sell signal. It's like, all right, cool, go for it. Now, Bitcoin, like, the reason I'm not buying Bitcoin is, look at this massive green candle, like, amazing prices all through here, 30,000 below. Well, shoot, it's at 100,000. I mean, it was 126. So it's had a lot of its run. I think there's still more run to come, but a lot of the gains being made. If it 2x's or 4x's or 5x's from here, that's incredible. That's quite a big run. But most of the run's already been made. From the bottom, which was like 14,000, it's already made what, like a 8x, even at 100K. So a lot of the gains been made for those that bought early. Bitcoin, I mean, it's a major player. It's great store of value, great competitor to gold. But for this bull run, a lot of the run has already been made for it.
I wonder if you said there's going to be we have some room left to run. What's your take after the government reopens? We pass this Clarity Act. People get that 2026 budget. Quantitative tightening goes away. Where do we see it next year? Maybe I don't know if I see a blow off top, because a lot of these institutions are having a lot of fun on these 20 and 30% swings, and I feel like they'll keep doing that because they do. Like, I don't know if the institutions are really made for these blow off tops of like 8x's. They're probably made for 30%. I'll take some profit, liquidate the long, short it back down, and they keep doing that.
They're far more emotional than people like to admit. So they fall into stuff too, just like regular people do. Every once in a while, there's some cool heads that prevail, but you'll see when things go crazy that these institutions will be pressured by their board members to buy more in an environment where, say, Bitcoin's already at 250,000. Because sentiment will be that, oh, it's just going to keep going up for forever, and it won't. I mean, why do you think so many institutions bought mortgage-backed securities, when, if you look deeper at it, you could see the instability there? And yet people are like, no, they're fine. The default rates are super low. Well, the default rates are super low because home prices are going up so steep, so nobody needs to get foreclosed on. They can just turn around and sell it for 30% more than they bought it for, and get the mortgage caught up and paid. So defaults are low only because home prices seem to be going up for forever because interest rates are so low. but that won't last for forever. So the fundamentals were very, very weak, and anybody could look at it and see that. And yet so few did, because this sentiment was, oh, this will just go on for forever.
So I
That'll
hadn't
happen in the
thought of
crypto
that.
space too, that sentiment will get it all wrong.
So you're saying that the conventional wisdom of Wall Street, which is like, hey, we have a good thing going here. We buy at the bottom, we pump it up to this price. After we make a certain amount of gains, we sell, we see what longs there are, we short it, we liquidate them, and they keep doing that. But you're saying that Main Street will pressure them to do exactly what the housing market was doing in 06, 07, and then it collapses a couple years later. So this blow off top that might not be with just retail, but it could be with retail and the institutions combined, because they're getting that pressure from their board, which are made up of just normal people that might not understand crypto, but they understand their feelings, or they think they do, and their feelings are going to tell them it's going to go up forever. Okay, yeah, I hadn't thought of that. Okay.
Yeah, we like to think that, they're corporations and institutions, so they'll be much more rational. Well, guess what? Corporations and institutions, first of all, privately held businesses are run better than corporations most of the time, almost always. Why? Because the incentives are all wrong. So you have a CFO, and if the board tells him, you know what, we want more Bitcoin on our balance sheet because, you know what, our shareholders, the 401ks and everything, everybody's doing it these days, so we want to do it too. So what's the CFO going to do? He's going to do what the board told him to do. Even if he's like, I don't think we should do that. He doesn't want to lose his job, so he's just going to do what the board is telling him to do. The board is going to tell him to do what all the shareholders are saying. Guess who the shareholders are? People with 401ks. So they're far less rational than what everyone's thinking. Like, who is selling Bitcoin right now? People who bought Bitcoin through BlackRock that are scared. Oh my gosh. Why don't they get it? Well, you're assuming that just because they made money in other things, that they understand these cycle markets like crypto, and they don't. 5% of people in crypto get it right. And I don't know if that number can go up from there. Like, 5% understand the emotional swings of this and play it right. And about 95% don't. And so when you introduce more people in there, you're introducing a whole bunch of people, even institutional people, that don't get it either. And they're going to play it wrong. So they're going to buy high and they're going to sell low. Even if they have institutional money behind them.
I think there's also something to be said about the people that probably do understand it, but they over leverage themselves, and they get liquidated somewhere, and they were making kind of the right moves because they were buying at the right times, but they were trading on leverage, they got wrecked, or they have a partner that's like, okay, it's time to sell, or I'm going to leave you, and because they can't fathom the idea of trying to date again, or they're like, oh, I'm going to lose this, they're going to be whipped there. They go against their correct instincts, and they make the wrong choice because of what their partner says.
Yeah, no, I would make the argument if they're trading on leverage, they don't fully understand it, because it's so volatile anyway. Like, why are you introducing that additional risk? The upside is so big. And maybe obviously I got burned pretty bad. Like, that decision cost me 1.5 million, almost 2 million in opportunity cost. So I learned that lesson pretty solidly. And I'm like, cool, there's so much money to be made here not playing with leverage. Do other people have to make that bet and take that hit in order to learn it? Yep. So once you learn it, boy, you don't have to make that mistake again. The amount of money you can make here without leverage is incredible. Playing with leverage is like playing with fire in a wood shed, right? Like, don't do it.
Yeah. There's I mean, even if I was right and they were just manipulating the price to a certain point, and we just do staircase steps, institutions
There might
can
be
only
some players that do that, right? But that's not going to be the majority of them. I think a lot of people are going to copy what Michael Saylor has done. They're going to be like, oh, look at this proven model. they're going to get their board to sign off on doing what Michael Saylor has done, where they buy a bunch of Bitcoin, then they borrow against that Bitcoin, buy more Bitcoin, and then they just keep doing that. So yes, they're going to be introducing leverage in that way because they're borrowing kind of against their Bitcoin in order to do it. And there are liquidation points for them. And that will be like playing with fire in a wooden shed. And at some point, that's going to go very bad. But that's part of what's going to drive Bitcoin to go to prices. I don't think it should hit this cycle, but it probably will. So I do think we'll have a super cycle. I think Bitcoin should top off. If we're not in a super cycle, should top off at 150 to 185,000. I think it goes far beyond that to 250 to 500,000. And then I think it's going to overbust. And the reason it will go so high is people think, oh, Michael Saylor's got this amazing strategy with micro strategies, and we're going to copy the hell out of what he's doing. They're going to end up over leveraged, and when it reverses, it's going to reverse hard, and a bunch of people are going to get wiped out.
It's true. He made, I think they made 3.8 billion in Q3. Coinbase, same thing. They had record profits in Q3. It was very good. Then October turned into Rectober, and who knows? But I still think the close at the end of the quarter will still probably be positive, and because it makes sense. The institutions, everyone are going to like, oh, we claimed a profit. And again, like, I don't think these institutions are really the ones losing money. I think people that are like the $300 million in longs that were liquidated today, they lost their money. I don't think the institutions were doing that. I think they were fine. But yeah, even if they could manipulate, and they do, like these parts of the market, they can't manipulate what they're not in. Like, they're not going to be in DEVVE and DEFINITY and OMI, although there's probably going to be some that are going to be in OMI. But yeah, they're not going to manipulate that because they're not in it. So the blow off tops for alts that could still do that 50 to 1000x, I still think we get those. The time frame obviously has moved quite a bit. Do you think we need Jerome Powell out? Can we moon before then?
It'll help if he gets pushed out. I think Trump's putting some pressure on him. Some board of governors are like, oh my gosh, like inflation is our biggest concern, and bringing interest rates down is just going to, increase our risk of inflation. It's like, okay, you guys are the same ones that said Trump bringing tons of tariffs in would increase inflation like crazy, and the whole world was going to spiral out of control, and everyone was going to die. And they were all wrong on that. Part of the reason we had so much inflation during the Biden era is so much printing of money combined with all these goods and services, manufacturing being shut down. So it's like, okay, you can't go into your factory because you're all going to die from COVID. And therefore, all these factories shut down. So we had way more money chasing fewer goods and services. Inflation went absolutely crazy. Well, so if that money gets employed productively to produce far more goods and services, then you don't have that kind of inflation. So Trump going in and making things more efficient, lining up incentives right while bringing interest rates meaningfully down, I think he's trying to grow the U.S. out of its debt crisis. And there's a huge debt crisis. Like Dr. Stuff, I was talking to him about the commercial real estate problem. Like, commercial real estate is in a huge bind, and you're going to see a huge commercial real estate crash. Now, not industrial real estate. Industrial real estate is doing pretty well. It's office-based real estate is absolutely getting wrecked, and a few other things. Even your store real estate, like your big stores. Why? Well, they're having to compete with Amazon, and they're not doing well when they have such expensive leases to pay for. And so they're struggling. And so commercial real estate is in trouble. Now, if interest rates come way down and these, people have loans on these big buildings, can refinance them for a lot cheaper loans, well, then that brings down their cost of operations. And say somebody owns a $10 million building and they can refinance it cheaper, even if they're renting it out to someone. If they need to decrease the rent to make it so that that person renting it can stay in it, well, then that keeps things viable. Like, so I think interest rates coming down is what's going to happen. Like, is Jerome Powell on board with that? No. I think Trump pushing him out, he's going to put somebody in there that meaningfully brings him down way, way cheaper, trying to grow the U.S. out of the problem. I think it causes far less inflation than these doomsayers are saying, because I think we have a productivity boom, not only in the U.S., but in the world. And in that environment, too, I think crypto does quite well. So, like, crypto is already set to do well. Sale from my private community, he sent me this video on what's going on with XRP. It's crazy what's going on with XRP. So they're going to be their own global bank. And they bought all these on rails, like all these rails, not only the XRP is going to run on, but so that they have on ramps and off ramps. I think the acquisition cost them like $3.2 billion to acquire the company necessary for that. Like, XRP is going to be huge, and like XRP's price is meaningfully down too in this pullback that we've had. Everything is massively on sale. Everyone's fighting crypto right now. It's not going to stay that way for forever. Like, things are going to go well. I think interest rates do come down in that environment. Crypto goes crazy. And that's what we're looking at. Will it happen before Jerome Powell gets pushed out? Probably happen some. Probably not as fast as Trump would like to see it. But he's out by May. So it's not that far away.
We shall see. There's been people that have been adding OMI on Stacker, but Stacker was down the other day. How often do you use Stacker? Do you store any OMI on there, or is it all in like cold wallets?
Yeah, I bought some on there just to like play around with it and to buy it on there. So I use it some. So I store most of my OMI on a cold wallet, but I have a little bit on Stacker, plus my whatever. Instead of 10 million minimum, I think I have 12 or 14 million on there, plus some more that I bought.
I've got that too. I mean, I have a decent amount on there now. I wish they would do 100 million staking tier. Like, the rewards for that would have to be sweet, but then it's like, okay, the company's got to pay for it and do whatever. And I don't know how that would work.
Like that, increase our MCP points by double if you have like 100 million on there.
I can see that. Yeah, because I mean, then you can become a master collector, though, I think, with not much. Although maybe you wouldn't be a master collector yet. Maybe you'd still have to buy some. You'd still have to get some stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So if the first 10 million got you exactly what they're doing now, but then you need 100 million and you could double that, I like that, because it means anyone could get to 10 million in this environment. Like, if you're not at 10 million, you're not trying. With as cheap as things are now, like, come on, you really don't have an excuse. 100 million, that's harder. A bunch of people could get to it. That would help actually in the short term, even in the long term, increase OMI's price. You would have a bunch of people picking up more OMI in that.
Agreed. Pink Panther saying, "Sweet SEI crazy bargains. I'm buying all day." So you got some DEVVE before. You're getting a little bit of OMI, getting some of this. Good stuff, Pink Panther. Go get that bread. I hope you're doing well. I haven't had we have some new people come in and all the time, but I don't know how many of them are. I don't think any of them are really influencers. Do you know anyone that is new that is, I don't want to say noteworthy, but they have like, oh yeah, they have a decent amount of followers and they could help us grow, might get into the affiliate program? Or is it just like, I don't know any of these new users?
Yeah, I don't know any of the new users. A lot of it will come when crypto becomes the focus, and that's coming. It's definitely not here this week, right? This week is like nothing but FUD. Like, oh my gosh, AI is the place to be. Or, oh yeah, Zcash. Like, I released a video the other day showing like the way you make the money is buying low and selling high. And people that are buying Zcash now, it's like you had this beautiful chart where it was super cheap for a long time. And then all of a sudden it goes 7x. And now you're buying it, think you're going to make money on it. Like, it just went 7x. Now, the goal is to buy low, sell high, not buy after it 7x's, hoping that it continues to go up from there. But that's what most people do. So all this other stuff has a beautiful chart like OMI and other things where OMI is cheaper than it's ever been. And tons of people are going to pass up on it now And when it goes 7x from here, then they're gonna be like, oh, OMI, I'm buying it like crazy. And you're like, all right, cool. I mean, yeah, it's gone up 7x from here. Probably has a lot more room to run. But boy, it's not as cheap as it was.
True. There's a stock market outside of today. Today it lost like $750 billion, give or take. But usually it's usually at all-time highs, and Bitcoin's kind of been suppressed. What happens if the stock market crashes? Does Bitcoin pump? Do we go crazy?
Some point you might see stock market crash and crypto do well. Like, what's funny is that crypto has tended to run with tech stocks, because it's traded like a tech stock and traded like a tech stock. But it doesn't have to run with tech stocks at all. It doesn't have to run with the stock market, though they have a pretty high correlation. There could be an environment where people realize, man, their 401k isn't going to get them near as far as crypto investment. And you see a bunch of people selling 401k plays to roll that straight into crypto. And at that point, it decouples.
I could see that. People talking about recession. I assume that's what he means when he says the stock market's going to get rug pulled. But yeah, I can see it.
You know, it has gone up for forever. And so it feels like it'll just keep going up. At some point, that won't be the case. I don't know when. In an environment where interest rates are probably going to come down a lot more, you probably still continue to see stocks perform. I'll get concerned. My dad is super happy with his 401k performance and everything, and like, oh yeah, this is great. And when my dad is thinking about selling his stock to buy into crypto, it probably means that stock has gone down like 50% and crypto has gone up like 6x in general. And that's like late, right? So that means it's probably a good time to buy stock and a terrible time to be buying crypto. And that's exactly when he'll probably want to be doing it.
Yeah. We've got a couple of other sales on the stacker, and we don't know, like, Stacker's this beautiful company that Dr. Profit had made for him, and obviously the better VeVe does, the better Stacker does, and vice versa. But I wonder what they're doing with like some of their profits. I wonder if they have a Komi reserve, the same way some other people have a Bitcoin reserve. They have an ETH reserve. I wonder what they're doing with it. If you were head of Stacker, what would you announce so that you could further OMI's cause?
Well, if you think about it, the head of Stacker is also a huge Komi fan to begin with. I mean, he started this journey buying tons of collectibles, tons of OMI himself. So this particular head of Stacker is a huge OMI fan. I think he holds as much OMI as like Dan and Dave do. So
yeah,
like he's got a vested interest. What would I do if I were him? I'd be buying even more OMI at these prices.
Never enough for you?
No. I like OMI as a play, right? What is the risk that OMI fails from now till the altcoin blow off top? I would say pretty low.
Yeah, I'd say
in
it's
that
very
environment,
low.
what kind of returns does it get? 10 to 300x maybe? Like 10x would be like bad. Oh my gosh, it really massively underperformed. 100x, 200x, it's like, oh, it did pretty good. It's down 99%. So just to go back to previous highs is 100x from here. Cool. Like that is what we call a lopsided bet. Imagine if you go to the casino and say you had a 90% chance of winning, and if you won, you would get 10x to 100x gains. You'd be like, okay, I'm going all in. As it is, people go all in on black with like a 47.5 or 48.5% chance of winning. And if they win, they only double their money, and yet they'll go all in those situations. But yeah, no, I like these kind of situations. Now, I'm still diversified because who knows? Crypto, there's lots of what I think are really strong bets. So why go all in on one? Because the chance that all of these ones fail are really low.
You were in the pre-sale. What was the ICO price for OMI? Was it 0001?
I don't remember it all. Basically, my $400 in the ICO went to about $100,000. So
The reason I was asking that is because if we are close to these prices at ICO, you had Batman, which was great. You had I think they had Tokidoki. I think they had Cartoon Network. They had a couple of really
the
good licenses.
ICO was I wasn't in the ICO. I was in the pre-sale. So the ICO was actually quite high for compared to what the pre-sale was.
Oh, so pre-sale was like quad zero, like 3, right?
I don't know. The pre-sale, $400 in pre-sale went to about $100,000.
Yeah. So the ICO, like if Colette was saying is true, if it was 0001 and we're basically down at those prices again, we have VeVe at such an evolved level as a company, and they have so much more than they did at the ICO. It's kind of not fair. I mean, we get to basically cheat. We know what's on the test. We know what they've done over the last like people that bought then, they didn't know what VeVe was going to do. Jeremy Padower had this thing the other day saying that he invested in like a dozen companies over the pandemic, and 80% of them are not around anymore. They failed. Yeah, you never know what a company's going to do, and but now we're getting at the same prices as they did when they took a huge gamble. And here, I don't really see it as that big of a gamble.
Yeah, no, it's much lower risk, but yet tons of people are going to pass up this opportunity. So it's like if you've been following OMI and VeVe dispassionately, and you look at this is a lopsided risk to the upside. I often use the analogy of like when I was working real estate and real estate investment, I was taking this investor around to show him some good land deals, and he was telling me about this corner that had a Walmart on it. The Walmart was being built, and he's like, we had the option to buy that 20 acre for 30,000. I'm like, why didn't you? Like, he just couldn't see it. Like, it was pretty clear to me, but I've been doing investing for a long time. That of course you didn't know that Walmart was going to go there, but of course it was going to end up commercial real estate in really good values, though it would take 20 or 30 years. So you're looking at OMI now, and it's like, of course it's going to work out. But some people can't see it. They don't have what I call the golden vision. And it's like, if you can't see this, well, either you're going to get a good experience watching that it does play out, and then you'll really start to develop your golden vision, or this literally isn't right for you. And it just may not be right for you. Like, there's some people that just aren't wired to right, that they're not going to be able to make money for them in this way. They're not going to be able to see it. Just like he couldn't see it. He couldn't see that would someday become a Walmart. So I was like, well, there's no more deals here. We got to go way north along the roads that haven't been put in, and I can get you about 5 acres, maybe 10 acres for about 30 to 50,000. Well, there's nothing there. And it's like, why do you think it's so cheap? Because there's nothing there yet. And then you have to wait the time until it gets there. He just couldn't wrap his mind around it. He thought he'd run across a deal where Walmart was right about to buy on, and somehow someone would want to sell him 20 acres for $30,000 right before Walmart would want to buy it. Like, he just didn't get how it plays out. Like, look, some people don't get it with crypto. Right now, sentiment's down. OMI, people are like, oh, the token is dead because it just keeps going down. And they just can't wrap their mind around that, like, sentiment changes. Yes, it feels bad right now, but look, I mean, we just looked at Bitcoin's chart, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. People are poo-pooing on Bitcoin like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. And it's like, it's clear as day, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. It plays out pretty regularly like this. General altcoins, we're not far enough in the cycle that most of the altcoin narratives are running yet. That comes right near the end of this time being a 5-year cycle, and we're not there yet. How do you know? Well, because almost no altcoins have popped off that popcorn popping bag. You hear only a few kernels really going off. near the end of the cycle is when everything's going crazy, and like we're not there yet. People will say, but Rain, how do you know what's coming? Look, same arguments people are making, how it's not going to come this time, the same arguments being made in 2020. Yet fundamentally, everything was bullish. All lights were green, yet prices were cheaper than ever, and people saying it wasn't going to happen. Oh, it was. They just couldn't see it. Same thing with crypto again. And that's cool. Like, obviously, if you're here, I'm probably preaching to the choir. Amazing. You only have to learn to get good at this once, because then you can use the skill in crypto for the next while, and then whatever the new technology is after that, and you can learn how to make your money make money for you, and you can retire endlessly wealthy. You go to sleep at night and your money is making you money. It's incredible, because you only have so much time in your day, and until you learn the skill of making your money make money for you, you're locked on how much wealth you can build in a day. It's like you run out of hours that you can physically work. So it's one of the greatest skills you can develop in this world if your goal is to be wealthy. However, not everyone can learn this. Not everyone gets it. That's okay. This isn't right for them. Hope they take a high-paying job as a lawyer or something, so that they can at least make a lot of money for the time they put in. If you learn the skill to make your money make money for you by being able to see these trends before everyone's talking about them, buy OMI when it's down and everyone's flooding it, and then have OMI go massively up for you, cool. You're now getting good at this skill, and it's going to work for you in a lot of ways.
Make me want to DCA more. Raythak saying, sorry for the interruption, but I've been thinking, if VeVe ever opens up trading to the wider market, their NFTs backed by Disney, Marvel, and other big brands could explode in value. Curious your guys' thoughts about that. I think they plan to. They just, OpenSea can't guarantee the royalty, and Disney's not going to forego that royalty. They're going to want to, as long as they can get that royalty. I think that was part of the reason why. Remember, like a year ago, when people were just like, Disney will never allow their stuff to be traded on Stacker for OMI. That'll never happen. Well, once they guaranteed the royalty, it happened. So obviously going out into the wider market, I don't know how they're going to do it. It seems like they, as of right now, they haven't. But at some point, yeah, if they can guarantee the royalty, Disney should have no problem with it, nor should anyone else. And yeah, I think they could explode as well. What are your thoughts?
Well, some people say, oh, because they're on a different market than OpenSea, the regular crypto money won't roll into them. But for a long time, you could only buy CryptoPunks, not on OpenSea, but this other site. They weren't interoperable at the time. And so, like, I don't think that case holds. If the general trend is, hey, I want Batman digital collectibles, and VeVe has them, they're going to be fine with going to Stacker, or putting gems on the VeVe app and buying them on the VeVe app.
Agreed. We've got Air Blues. I did not sell any OMI last cycle. Colette saying the ICO price was 0001, and ChatGPT said for early investors it was quad 05 to quad 07. So even if the private sale is only 50% more down, oh my god, yeah. So we're getting a pretty good price here, and I'll probably get a little bit more soon. Not too much more, but a little bit more. If we're still down here in December, I'll blow past $500 million.
What's so funny is some people don't get it. A lot of the people that participated in the pre-sale, back when I did, they sold their OMI at the launch of the token and then during the bear market, and they didn't keep it. I know a guy who had $80,000 in the pre-sale. He didn't have any left in the bull run. He had sold it all. Like, he probably turned his $80,000 into like 120,000. But it would have been like, I don't know, like 10, 20 million during the bull market. He just, like, honestly, he's been in crypto longer than me, and he doesn't have meaningful money to show it because he keeps playing it wrong.
That is horrible. That's like a horror story, and that's why I don't sell, because if like, and I know like we could have traded these pumps. I don't know. Pumps happen a couple dozen times over the last couple of years. Goes up X amount of percent, comes back down. But I just have that fear that if I trade it on a pump, it's just going to keep going, and then missed it. I can't do it.
That totally happened to me. with one crypto I had last during the bear market that I was trying to keep myself entertained during the bear market because it's so boring, as you all know. And so, you know, it'd go to 7 cents. I would buy some, then go to 14 cents. I would sell 7 cents. I bought some more, went to 14 cents. And when I'd sell, I'd only sell half of it. I went to 14 cents, so I sold half of it. Went to 21 cents. I sold the other half, and I'm like, that's great. Oh, I can't wait till it gets to 7 cents. And when I buy it again, went down to 14 cents, and then it took off. It went to $24. I'm like, well, crap. So now, thankfully, I was only playing around with that one. Everything else, I was just buying and holding. But you see why, like the truth is, I know some people that have been in crypto longer than me that don't have meaningful money to show for it. But I know also a bunch of people that are millionaires from crypto. The millionaires always do the same thing. They just dollar cost average during these kind of things, and then they hold it. They don't play these little swings, ups and downs. They just buy more when it gets cheaper. They kept their day job, and they just kept dollar cost averaging in. And then during the bull market, they just sold. They didn't sell the tops either. They just sold as it was going crazy.
I think that's what I'll do as well. Again, I'll look to you for guidance when I'm looking to sell because I will probably sell too early. So I'm going to need you there to be like, not that much, a little bit here, a little bit there. And then we'll.
Like it went 10x. I need to sell it. I was like, no, just maybe try 10%, but don't sell it all yet. I got to roll in just a minute.
Yeah, let's end it here. Everyone, thank you for joining. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. We love you.